everybody. It's me, Glaiza. We're here for this is the first time I'm ever doing this. But hi. We are D8 for Inspiration, and I am your guest host on Neverending today, where we will be talking to different it's called Trial Run, and we'll be talking to different TTRPG personalities. Today we're going to have Nemerlium from SandyPugGames. Welcome to this first inaugural show of Trial Run. So, how are you feeling today? How are you liking this?
I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for having me. It's a great honor to be on here first up.
It's you've seen me like post all the time about Monster Care Squad on Twitter, and I wanted you to be the first person that I was going to interview on here. So why don't you just introduce yourself to the people watching, if there's anything you want to say, like any projects where people can find you, that kind of thing.
Well, everyone can always go and find me at SandyPugGames at Twitter, which is where I absent-mindedly babble whatever comes into my head at any given time, which often includes ideas for games that sometimes end up getting made. That's probably the best place to go catch up with us. There you can get us links to our itch page. The big stuff, the big project is this Monster Care Squad, which we'll be talking about a whole bunch, I'm sure, in the next little bit. But I got maybe some interesting Monster Care Squad news and things to talk about on the stream.
Yeah. Like I said, I've been very interested in Monster Care Squad ever since I first found it. Actually, it was one of my friends, Sin, and he had shown his book to me, and I was just like, oh, I really need to have that book because the book was pretty. And then he explained to me what Monster Care Squad was about, and I was like, oh, now I really have to play it because I love monsters, and I love playing and I love monsters, and I love the whole idea of you taking care of monsters instead of fighting them. So what is the main inspiration? Like what happened that clicked that you were like, all right, I have to do Monster Care Squad? What would you say was your biggest inspiration for that?
You know, I think that some folks, when they ask that question, I think that some people are expecting me to say something about the pandemic, because obviously the Kickstarter launched right in the early days of when things were getting pretty bad. And I think a lot of people backed it because, there was this moment where people felt a little helpless, a little hopeless, and there's a game about defeating an evil virus that takes over the world. But Monster Care Squad actually was way older than that. It came from this, even the name sort of is a relic of this. But it came from this like idea that I had where I just had this observation where there's really no reason for health points to go down versus up. You could run, say, Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder or whatever and have the exact same experience, but with the HP going up to some arbitrary number rather than down when you hit monsters or whatever. And so it seemed to me that you could make something kind of fun, like madcap, fast-paced dungeoneering thing, but instead of being the violent visitors, instead of being the people who like come in and kill people, you would come in and heal folks. I couldn't think of a way to make like interesting combat play out in that situation, which is what it is, right? And I just sort of ruminated for a long time until I played a game called Rhapsody of Blood, which hopefully some folks in the chat can recognize. It's a fantastic game. It's by UFO Press, and it's based around this, like, it's like Castlevania, the role-playing game. It's based around a series of discrete encounters with interesting rooms that you are supposed to think up, finalized with, or like topped with, this big climactic boss fight against whoever rules this dark place that you've come to defeat, be it Dracula or whatever they are. And the mechanics of that game were so, like, I've never had a boss fight that felt the way that did, and that was like, I gotta do something like this. I gotta do something a little inspired by it. It's gotta come from there. So in many ways, that's the game that really began Monster Care Squad as I think people would recognize it today.
Mm-hmm.
It's just this idea in the back before I tried out Rhapsody of Blood, and then after that, anything and everything that I've consumed since and before has in some way lodged itself in the game somewhere.
One of the things that I always get asked whenever I tweet about Monster Care Squad is, how would you explain Monster Care Squad in a quick and easy way? Like maybe just a sentence or two for people who are like not sure about Monster Care Squad. How would you explain it to them? That would be like, oh, that makes sense.
I'm loath to do that, like it's like X but Y thing, but I
Yeah.
think the quickest way is like it's like Monster Hunter, but you heal the monsters, right? Like the, that's it. That's the closest thing. When I'm trying to be like cool about it, I have this little spiel about like elite Black Ops veterinarians
Right.
journeying the world and solving problems and healing monsters, and that's like, you know, if you've never played Monster Hunter, that's kind of what it's like. Big climactic battles, and I don't know.
I've never played Monster Hunter, but I know a lot of people who, like, whenever I do explain that, they're like, oh, that makes sense. And in my head, I'm like, I'm glad you understand because I've never played it. When I was interested in it first time, they were like, oh, yeah, it's like Monster Hunter, but instead of you're healing that, I'm like, that makes sense. Of all the monsters, which one is your favorite?
I like there's this collection of sentient rats.
Oh, yes.
The run stuff in the biggest town of the city. Colo Colo is their name.
Yes, Colo Colo.
My favorite part about them is that they are both not even a monster, right? They're like a sort of collective consciousness or like idea that the other rats have rallied around.
Right.
I also am a big fan, like everyone else, of Caprini,
Yes.
the cool goat who hangs out and does nothing else of much interest.
The first time I ever played Monster Care Squad, I used the Caprini, and in my head, I was just like, I need to have some sort of like plushie. I want a plushie of the Caprini. Also, I want a plushie of the Poka Poka, the giant house with like, it reminds with like multiple legs and just changes every now and then. I love the Poka Poka. I really enjoy the art that that was placed in it. How did you find the people that you ended up using for Monster Care Squad when it comes to their art?
Oh, yeah, so that's kind of funny in that, like, there really isn't all that much of a huge story about it. I had in my head, I don't want to be like that kind of creator, but in the back of my head for like a long time, I sort of had a vision for what I wanted Monster Care Squad to look like. And if you'd asked me, what I would have said was, I would like it to look like the screenshots of like an OVA that you saw in a magazine when you were 14, right? Like before anime. And that I'm saying before you were 14 for like old people like me. So like if you're over 30, you know what I mean? There was a time before this new world where anime, no one knew what anime was, right? And like the best you could hope to get your hands on anime was like a videotape that you found somewhere, or like a magazine that would sell you a bunch of like 20-minute episodes on a tape or something like that. And they would have these like scratchy black and white screenshots of the anime, and you'd look at you like, whoa, that's like a demon with like a sword for a head or something. That's what is this? I put out a call for artists on Amazon, on Twitter, maybe soon enough. And I didn't really know who I would find. I had one or two thoughts about people who I'd worked with before joining in, but it just never really played out that way. And a mutual said, oh, Leafy would be the one to do this. And I click on Leafy's Twitter account for the first time, and I turn to my partner next to me and I'm like, this person's been illustrating Monster Care Squad for years. They've been doing it for decades before I showed up. Like every piece of art that they had on their profile, I was like, they've drawn the monsters that I had in my head. I don't know how this happened. We both got plugged into the same sort of galactic universal energy at some point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. That really is all it was. I just saw them, and Leafy just happened to have it on lock right out the gate.
I think that's really cool because sometimes for me, I'm not an artist. Like I can't draw or I can't do anything, but
Mm-hmm.
like I have a very active imagination. And sometimes you look at an artwork and that's like, this is it. This is what I've been looking for my entire life. Even though we've never talked, I have to have this for my book, for my and for you for your games. What is the best thing you could say about creating this game? Like creating games in general, or what was the best thing that you could remember about creating Monster Care Squad for you?
So for me, the best thing about creating Monster Care Squad honestly has surprisingly little to do with the content of the game, or even particularly the process of making it, which maybe makes this an unhelpful answer. But the thing that really was just something else about Monster Care Squad was it gave us it was a project large enough that we could solidify a lot of the ideas that the SandyPug co-op had into like practice, and it gave us all of this space to play around with what all of that meant. More specifically, it meant that we could form around a project, people could get paid a reasonable like amount for it, and we could spread that back into the community in a way that we just really hadn't been able to before because we didn't have the straight up funds for it. We were able to do the community grant project, which was fantastic. We gave out something like $3,000 to just random people who wanted to make Monster Care Squad stuff. We did, and then we were able to license all the artwork that we made so that people can make their own stuff with it. We were able to make all these templates free to use to everybody. We were able to implement our profit sharing and our bonus like models and all that stuff. It was very much just one of the best projects you could ask for to solidify a lot of stuff. So a lot of behind the scenes stuff is really where it touched me, which kind of made sense because that's where most of my job is.
I think one of my favorite thing, honestly, with Monster Care Squad was the licensing that you've put out with how people can make their own monsters. People can make their own locations, and it'll still be theirs, and they can still, choose to do that. What made you decide to have that sort of licensing? Just out of curiosity.
I've had well, communism, I think, originally. We don't. I don't particularly believe that IP laws and the way that they're currently protected is good for humanity generally. So a big part of it is just living the political ideologies that I believe in. But the specific delivery method and how we kind of put it across is a combination of, I think, the factual and obvious truth, which is that all role-playing games and all of our community is fundamentally built on this mutual play and this collective play. And so, opening the doors to allow people to play in the space that we created was really important to me. And also, it's I've completely blanked on the second part, but the first answer I think was pretty good, so we'll leave it at that. Yeah, it was just it's important, I think, to do the things you believe in,
right?
And we wanted to build a community. We wanted to say like this is how you can do it. Like you don't have to do it like all like Wizards or whoever else is out there. That you just make stuff and tell other people they can make stuff too. You don't have to make a big deal of it.
I think one of the exciting things that I'm still I'm still writing this stuff for, but Game Jam. You have a Game Jam that you are coordinating at itch.io. Would you mind talking about that a little bit? Sharing it to the people watching.
Yeah, sure. Let me go get a link. No, it's Game Jams are great. I love Game Jams. Game Jams are how I learned how to make games. They're just this really fun, low like investment form of that kind of mutual play I was talking about. It's just a room where a bunch of people are like, maybe I'll make something cool.
Have you had a lot of submissions already?
Only 3 so far, but that said, the deadline is a little ways off, so maybe a poke.
That's true. We'll
get
people might still be working on it.
Some stuff. Let me send you the link because your chat.
Yeah, let me actually put that on there.
Yeah, I think that the primarily that the game jam was a way to give people who maybe missed the community grant a way to kind of come in. You know, it was a way to give people like permission, I guess, a little bit. And we also launched it at around about the exact same time that we launched the license agreement publicly, right? So it was a way to kind of promote that. It was a way to be like, look, here's how you make stuff with us. Here's a place you can go and do that if you like. And you know.
Jamie in the chat is asking, what is a game jam? And honestly, I only learned about game jams because you had posted something about doing a game jams, and I was like, what is a game jam? It is something that's been, I've seen other people do, but can you explain what a game jam might be?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They're way more popular in like indie piece, like electronic game development.
Yeah.
Which is about the oldest I've ever sounded in my life. Electronic game development. Okay, so the basic idea is this: you and several other people all mutually agree to create a game or something else, but traditionally a game, within a limited period of time. At the barest form, that's all it is. It's a 24-hour or 48-hour sprint to make something cool. What a game jam is beyond that is kind of, you know, you bring in all these other influences and all these other rules and all these other ideas. My game jam, for instance, is running for a month and a half, so it's not quite that short of a time period. Some game jams will have artificial restrictions about what you can make. They will have themes, or they will have like asset packs that you're supposed to build something out of. GMTK, Game Maker's Toolkit, on Twitter, on YouTube, does a yearly games jam based around a theme, and they're for video games. But there's some really good videos about kind of like what a game jam is and what you can expect the results of it. In the tabletop space, I think game jams are largely like an agreement that we're all like, hey, let's hang out and maybe make something cool, maybe not. Right. Sometimes people make teams. Yeah, it's a low investment way to get into making something, I think.
And what I honestly really love about your game jam is that you have given the opportunity for people to use Monster Care Squad to create the world, to create the people, the locations, their own monsters, and you've allowed them to sell it if they wanted to, or like do it for free. And I think that's really important because I think game jams, from what I've understand, is a great entry point for people that might be interested in creating their own games. And I think I've mentioned this on Twitter, but the pipeline from being a player to a DM to a TTRPG creator is a very, very quick and weird one, and it is. And one of my friends said it's a slip and slide because you can't help but like just if you really enjoy creating stuff, creating stories, it just happens that you will end up creating your own game. And I'm actually like in my head now creating 2 games. It was only supposed to be 1, and now I'm like, I should make 2 games. Anyway, it's like you're filled with ideas. But what is the hardest thing you could say, like, for people who are just starting? What would be something that they could prepare for? What would be the hardest thing that they would go against in doing in creating games or starting to create games?
Let me get really close to the mic to make sure that this gets picked up. Finish something. The hardest thing to do in any creative outlet, but I think especially in tabletop role-playing games, is to just finish something. It doesn't matter what that means to you. You know, I don't have any kind of like elitist bent on this. I don't think that there's like any one thing that makes you a designer. But if you want to make games, you got to learn that last step to get it done. That might mean that you make some really bad games to begin with. I know I did. But if you get that skill down, everything else, you can do everything else because you can pick it up as you go. If you learn how to start and then end a project, all that stuff in the middle, you'll figure it out. You'll get it as you go. That's the biggest advice I can give to anybody.
I'm kind of curious. You mentioned like you've made bad games. I'm kind of curious, like, what is the game that you're like, you still love, but you're like, this will never see the light of day. You love it though. Like, you're still like in your head, like, I wish I could make you work. But you're like, no, you stay there in my little corner of the brain. Because I have my own little stories like that, but I'm curious.
You know, I don't have a lot of games that are like that aren't in the public eye, so to speak. Most of the stuff that I've made finds its way to the internet eventually, even if it's in an incomplete state or whatever. The game that you're describing to me is one I made called Americana, which is funny because Americana is like by far and away, it was the thing that kind of launched me being able to make games with some regularity. It's the only reason I have a budget for anything. Americana is a murder investigation game set in a you know how Shadowrun is kind of like all the fantasy stuff on Earth,
right?
But in the future, this is like that. But like, what if instead of the future, it was like an idealized 1950s California? So the idea was like Grease the musical meets like, you know, TTRPGs and stuff. Yeah. Like I had this, the whole game was inspired by this dream I had. I woke up halfway like through a dream and I saw this like orc in a Letterman jacket racing like hot rods down a you know whatever, a storm drain or something. And like, I don't know, something about that was like, I gotta make that somehow. It's a really cool game. It's got so many really cool mechanics about it. It's got this system called Your Dead Friend, where the murder victim of the game that you're playing is like an unplayed but active character at the table, and their character sheet is how you build the mystery around you. There's all sorts of fun stuff. It's a really cool system.
That sounds so much fun.
I think that the problem, I'm a little embarrassed by it, and I'm a little embarrassed by it because I developed it not early in like my political like awakening or anything, but like early enough that I think that I made some missteps. I in particular, the sort of attitude to the world is like, okay, well, the 1950s were kind of a bad time to be alive for like a lot of folks. It was a bad time to be cutting about. It's most people, I think, especially most people in my audience, are probably not going to think 1950s, what a wonderful time for hijinks.
Agreed.
And so my approach to that was to hand wave it and just be like, that's not how it is here. Like, it's just fine. Don't worry about it. Like, move on. If I was to make it today, I would, I think, do something more interesting or maybe more truthful. Not necessarily. I never, at the time when I made it, I got into a spat with someone on the internet about like, they were upset that the game didn't have like, you know, riots and protests and that sort of thing, and like people fighting for equality. And at the time I was like, well, yeah, I want this to be like escapist, right? I want this to be like something that my queer friends can play to like not feel like shit. Pardon me.
No problem.
I think there's probably a route to that from there. I think like if I sat down today and like got some of my friends together and we came up with something clever, I think we could do it. But I'm a little embarrassed that the only acknowledgement of it is like a little box on like page 1 where it's like, it's not like that arbitrarily.
Right. And I understand that feeling of like there's two ways of, you know, people go to these games to play, to escape and all of that. Just like when you're watching, you know, if you've ever watched Bridgerton, like you're not like, they do just hand wave away like, hey, it's not like that here. We're like completely and they're not even handling that. I can see why some people might enjoy that and would love to enjoy that. But there's also, I think, as a creator, it's hard to just hand wave things away. You know, it's hard. It's a whole thing that and I'm really glad that you talked about this and you shared about it, because I think one of the things that in TTRPG, there are different ways for people to enjoy a game, and having the option, having the realism of what 1950s could be, I think could be an option. And also, you know, if people decide they don't want it to be an option, they have the choice to do that. So I think
it's
that's
the thing, like, you're always going to look back at your old stuff as you grow and see it as like lacking in some way. Something about how I think Monster Care Squad's its development specifically, because Monster Care Squad sort of toes that road of like escapist fantasy where you're in this like tranquil and peaceful, perfect world, but the lore in the world is like very like it's very firm and clear about like how hard it is to keep this place running, how difficult it was to get here, how people like suffered and died and sacrificed to make this world good.
Right.
And then you take the players and you're like, and now it's your turn to suffer and struggle to make this world worth living in. I think it was Ludo who is doing a really big deep dive into Monster Care Squad. They're doing a really deep analysis of it. And they talked in the analysis about how the player characters in Monster Care Squad are the only people who don't get to enjoy the world that like I give you. They are the ones who are off making it possible for this world to continue existing in this utopic. Yeah, exactly. And so by putting the player in that position, you kind of get to play both sides where this place is escapist. It is like beautiful. It is utopic. There's no war. There's no suffering. Everyone is like happy and has everything they want. But you got to be the one making sure that continues because there's something wrong here and you got to fix it. So if I was to go back, I hopefully would have some experience to apply to the problem like now.
Yeah. I love one of the things I love why I decided to do Monster Care Squad as my own like world that I decided to jump into and let myself be swallowed into it is because the lore is so deep and there's so much. Every location is different. Every lore, every monster is different, and the past of that lore isn't washed away, isn't forgotten. It's still there. It's very clear that there were wars. Even the monsters are still affected by it. They still remember the wars and the kings that have happened, and the people alive today in that world. Well, they may not remember it, but you're right. The players have to keep that in mind. Why are the monsters suffering again? What's going on? And I really do love that about Monster Care Squad. Do you have any, like, what future plans do you have? I know you mentioned it earlier that you have future plans, future things to announce about Monster Care Squad. What would you like to announce and share it before we go to the next part of our trial run?
We've got a pretty busy roadmap for Monster Care Squad actually coming up. I see in the chat someone likes the streaming background here.
Yes.
This is the cover from the record, the vinyl record that's coming soon. Well, this isn't the cover. This is the back cover, but the front cover has a lot of little guys around. So we've got a vinyl record coming out. Those records are actually, I paid the final invoice for them, so they're on their way to me now. So we got those coming out. We record a full official soundtrack that you can get access to via the itch page. I think we partnered with a group called Fox and the Flowers, and one or two of the other people on the project came in and wrote. It's this beautiful, mostly acoustic album, sort of takes you on a journey through the world and the sounds of that world. Jan Ten Bear on Twitter is just a fantastic musician. We have a really cool vocal track on there. And I got my friend, Dog Friend, who's a rapper down in Richmond, to do a sort of really cool like electric sample beat track at the end that samples the whole thing. It's really cool. It's a really cool record. So we got that coming out. We've also got, that'll drop at almost the same time, we've got a web app version of the book, which is, I think, honestly, the definitive way to deal with that the material. It's just beautiful. Dee Pennyway, the developer of a game called Mnemonic, created that for us, and it's beautiful. It's fantastic.
It is gorgeous.
It's really, really good. And also, the main thing that we're all really excited about, we're just sort of getting the wheels turning on this, but we've got an expansion coming out called Behind the Waterfall, which will have like cut content and a variety of interesting extra things. We're going to get some more monsters in there, some more locations. But as well as that, you're also going to get some weird stuff. Like, I have this table of slang and folk sayings that exist in Aldamora, rather. We've got, I'm designing a hex crawl, so you can do like an exploration of some area. I have there's this game I really like called Eclipse Phase
Mm-hmm.
that has a gameplay loop called Gate Crashing, where you go in a sort of magic portal to another planet and explore that planet. We're putting that in. There's some wizards who've made a weird portal device, and I've got this mechanic for generating very strange universes that you can go and explore and do some monster caring out there in the multiverse. We got a lot of the team is working on it. We're gonna get some people who made some third party content in on it. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fantastic.
It's definitely something to look forward to, because I've devoured the book like from beginning to end, and I still really enjoy rereading it. So I'm really excited to see, you know, the expansion come out. It's something that I'm very, very excited about. One last thing. What is your favorite part about Monster Care Squad? Just the one thing that you could say that, you know, I mean, if you can, like, what is the one thing? Like, I know this is your baby. You love all of it, probably.
Yeah.
But, like, what is the one thing that you love about it that you can't stop talking about this part of Monster Care Squad?
So, like, I have a specific micro example for that. I have, like, a specific 2 locations, basically, that I love about it. And those are the ones that are in space. I say this all the time. I you know, if anyone's on Twitter, they're probably sick of me hearing this, but like, I think the most fun part about Monster Care Squad is that it's got a space program. Like, Aldemora is this like fantasy land where, like, at first glance you're like, oh, it's like medieval or like 1700 style, like, you know, stuff. They got like boats and stuff, but like wait, hold on, there's a train? Okay, well, like, I guess. And then, like, we hit you completely in the margins with, like, also these people can go into space and have built a space station and, like, have, like, a temple on the moon. And that's just an accepted part of the thing. There's something about the way how the world works, how it sort of is accepted within it, that there's really no need for us to overdo this, right? Like, there's no need for pointless growth. There's no need for pointless development. There's no need for just pointless stuff. But we can do whatever we want. Like, we have all of this power, all of this technology, all of this magic. If it is worth doing, then we should do it. And these people decided that going into space was worth doing. And so they did it. And there's really nothing... The world doesn't treat that kind of thing as, like, special. And I like that a lot.
That actually inspired me to, in my games of Monster Care Squad, where I would just... Hey, your characters have cell phones. Don't worry about it. It works that way. You know, that kind of thing. And
that's rad.
I just really love how it feels very sandboxy, but not completely, because you can still, like, there's still certain worlds, certain locations, certain monsters that you can, you know, you can follow and you can do, and but you can also make it your own. And I'm actually really excited to show you the intro thing that I always do for all of my games. If you don't know, I have like 34 people playing Monster Care Squad in my Discord. I am scheduling that as best as I can. But
the world's biggest Monster Care Squad group, I think, officially.
Sweet.
Absolutely.
If that is a record, I will gladly take it. There's 34 of them, and I'm like creating a different scenario every time I meet up with them. So, but before we go do that, I do want to work with you and create a character with you. Let me move it there. So right now, I don't know if you can see it on stream, but right now, I have an empty character right here.
I see it.
And we can work on creating one character that I will gift you after we do all this. I'll do the art. I mean, I can't draw, but this is how I will make an art for you. I will make this art for you for your character, and then I will send it to you as soon as we're done. And as soon as I'm even going to, like, based on how the introduction goes, I'll even fill it with bios and stuff. So this will be your special character. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to choose a body type. So if you can see on the left, which body type are you interested in getting?
I kind of like what we're working with right now, but let's scroll down and see what we got here. There's a good one on the right there.
Which one?
Keep going, keep going.
Keep
Let
going.
me get a good glance at all of these
Okay,
first.
so it's delayed. That's why.
Oh, joy. Yeah, I'll stop saying stuff. Yeah, that makes sense.
So this is we'll go with like 1, 2, 3,
Sure.
4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is new. 12, 13. Oh, this is new. I haven't seen this one yet.
I like 1, or I think it was 6.
This is 1.
5 or 6.
And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I would give it about 5 minutes for this to catch up.
Yes.
Yeah, 1 or 6 is good. Let's go with 6. I think they look.
Okay, let's go with 6.
Look like a hella good monster grabber right here.
Yeah.
Not getting
Definitely
out of this
great to like, grapple. All right, let's are you okay with the let's do color. Like, what kind of, do you want her tanned?
One of my favorite little touches in Monster Care Squad is that, like, you got the monster gift economy, right? You've got, like, say economy as if there's like something attached to it. But like it was our way to make it so people could be furries if they wanted to. Basically, we wanted it so people could have like their cat ears or whatever without
whatever they wanted to do with it.
And so what we were like was like, okay, well, you get a superpower as well as having like a cute tail. Go ahead and how about you give me like a sort of like an ashy sort of bluish tone to their skin, and we can sort of like maybe imagine they've been through something that gets them there, some sort of magical or monster based.
How about this when it catches up?
Calamitous. Yeah, that looks good.
Awesome. Let's do that. And then this also comes with different arm styles. Like if you wanted to have like, it doesn't have to, but it comes with that.
This is a really cool tool.
It really is. I'm going to bring them back. But what I love about Never Ending is that it is open to like, it's like Pit Crew, but like a lot more options, and you can do a lot more things with it. So if you just like creating characters and you don't have the ability or the, the thing that you need for it, you have, oh, what happened? I clicked on the wrong thing. But you have you have so much things that you can do with it.
Absolutely. This looks really cool.
Let's see.
I like asymmetry in character, so I like this how you can choose like 2 different.
I'm going to reset my page apparently because let's save this first. I'm gonna save. Do you have a name idea for them?
No, not off the top of my head. I'm terrible with names. I could come up with something.
I'm just gonna go put Monster MSC fill in for now because we don't have one yet. So I'm gonna save it. Sweet. And I'm gonna do a hard reset apparently. Well, there we go. But yes, so let's go. Oh no, what happened? Where's my character? I'm gonna pull it up again because I restarted it. I refreshed it, but I already have. As you can see, I have multiple characters that I've made already. It just says F. Whatever. All right, so we already have that. Do you want to change the arms around a little bit?
Let me take a look at them. I saw the one. What's this
So this
third
one
row
is
down?
like it does that. And then this one does
Oh, I like that sort of one that takes over the whole arm.
this one when it catches up.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that looks really cool.
Awesome. Do you want the other side to do the same thing?
No, I think asymmetry is the way to go there.
Awesome. Let's see if we can do some color thingy with it.
Okay.
So the right arm, you can change, basically, like, you can change this colors. So I'm going to give you an example. Like, if we do pink, the background of it will be pink. And then you could change this to green if you wanted to. But that's basically, like, what I really like about this, again, is that you could have the same character, whatever, but you could still be different. You could still make your own style with it. So, what color do you want for her right arm?
Let's go for a sort of red and gold look, I think.
Okay, let's do red. Let's do red for the bottom.
Sure. That's like my go-to color combo is red and gold.
Yeah. Mine is black and red.
That's our logo.
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of black and red stuff, but the folks who I work with are like, that neither prints well nor looks easy on the eyes. You're gonna have to stop.
You're gonna have to get a different thing. Is this okay?
Yeah, that looks fantastic.
Perfect. All right, so we've chosen that. We're gonna go on the hand, because you can also change the hand itself. Right now, it's the automatic this one, which is what it is right now. Do you want to change it with other claws?
We could just leave it as it is, I think.
All right.
Oh, wait, hold on. No, there's some cool ones that are showing up now. I like those. I like those sort of claws with the knuckles on that, like, 4th row down, I think. Left on the 3rd row, and then
this one.
Maybe.
When it shows up, it'll catch up.
That one looks good. That one looks good.
Yeah,
put that one.
Let's see if I can. Yeah, let's do that. There we go. Let's do a little bit of gold and red again. Okay, let's make this red. And then goldish. Let's see if I can go back. Get a little bit darker. So this is usually what I spend my time doing. Just creating different characters for all of the stuff that I want to do. All the games that I want to play. It's just fun. Alright, so we've made the arm. So we can move past that. And let's go to... So what again, another thing that I really like about Neverending is that they also have... eventually, like, they'll have the... different accessibility stuff as well. Right now, it's not yet available, but they will have it as well. Let's choose a head. So,
at last,
finally, we're gonna give her a head. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This one, this one. I'll just put the head on so you can see how it looks like. I kind of like the different heads with this one. They're very pretty.
A lot of personality comes through.
Cheekbones for days.
Yeah, I think something kind of heavy, something kind of angular to match the sort of stacked buff vibe that she has.
I think I found one. And you can just tell me. I've stopped choosing. This is the one I'm choosing for her. Do you want this?
That one looks good. I think that if that's the one that you have that's on there now, yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, it's very angular.
I dig it.
All right, so we'll keep that one. They also have monster heads. If you're interested in that, eventually, you can have that too. They have scars now. Well, not yet available, but eventually it'll be available because we're still in beta. But yeah.
Right.
Let's see. Do you want any of these things for her?
Let's see. Sort of. Are these like skin textures or armor?
Yeah, so they're like there's like mecha armor, but there's skin textures.
Snap! That's wild.
Yes. So if you,
I think she's good without a mech suit, but I do I do like the idea of a monster healing mech suit quite a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah.
And
So we'll
then
make a note of that one. We'll circle
well,
back
we'll
to that
circle back on
later.
that on a different character. And then there's also horns that you could use.
Love a good horn.
I love
Love a good
horns.
horn.
Look at
Yeah.
this. I love horns.
Yeah, just anything you like here, I'll be happy.
All right. I'm gonna give you a dragon-like horn because I love
That sounds
dragons. I think that looks great. I'm also gonna give him the same bluish tint that I think looks great. Yeah. Boom.
Look at those.
Look at that horn. That looks gorgeous. I love that horn. Do you want them to have a tail?
Yeah,
Let's give them a tail.
Yeah, tails are cool, folks.
I love tails. They have so many tails since I last checked.
The choices here are fantastic.
Oh, that's so good. Do you want this tail? I think it matches our horns.
Yeah, let's go with that. You ever do that thing when you're doing these? You just end up clicking way too many of the options.
Yes,
and you're like,
they all look great.
I gotta pare it down a little. This looks silly.
Like, look at this. I want this. Like, I don't. It doesn't match her, but I want this tail for myself.
When you were scrolling by, the Nine Tails thing was exactly what I was thinking. I was like, I would definitely give the character a Kitsune tail, and then I would definitely think, I can't. It looks little heavy.
It doesn't match her.
No.
Oh, okay. Let's give her the same tail color. Oh wait, but you can do much more. Let's see. Let's give that a little bit of darkish blue. Give that a little bit of darkish blue. Her whole shtick is blue.
Kind of like that black and white tail. Again, it may be a different character. It looks neat.
What do you think?
I think that looks solid. Yeah, I think it's good that it's a little darker than their skin and horns.
All right, so they also have wings. If you want to have wings,
let's maybe not. I think wings is definitely going to be that moment where we're like, okay,
we can't do the wings anymore. We have to stop. All right.
One of my favorite illustrations in the book has a character getting like really pretty butterfly wings. They get a monster gift and getting touched with it. It's really cool.
All right, now we're gonna go to the important part: the hair.
Vital stuff.
Really, really vital stuff. What kind of hair do you want?
I like long hair, obviously. Okay. I think that's a good place to start.
Do you want it tied up like this when it shows you?
Yeah, I think if they're an older character, I think maybe either like braided or tied back or something is the way to go. So, you know, they're all business, right?
Yes. Let's see.
Top knot some kind of weak for.
Oh, I kind of like that one. I think it suits her.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Let's see, long hair tied up. I think this one would suit her.
Yeah, I agree.
Her face
I think
too.
so.
What color hair do you want her to be?
What's good? What contrasts well against blue? What do we think? White and gray is good. I like white and gray colors generally on characters for hair, but
let's see if we keep it white. Like sort of silverish white.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna give her a red hair tie. Ta-da! To match her hand. I think that looks good. Awesome. Also, we're not going to choose this, but you can also have different hairstyles, where it's more beast sort of hairstyles. There's feathers, there's tentacles.
That's
like,
so sick.
Really, really nice ones.
That's rad.
Yes. And now we're gonna choose the eyes. So, I think bigger eyes would work well for her, but not. What do you think she's angry?
Go with that big jaw.
Would she be angry or tired?
I don't know. I don't think anyone's too angry in Aldemora.
No, I don't think so.
Most
I think everybody's like happy in Aldemora.
People are pulling it together where they can. Maybe tired, maybe determined eyes. Some sharp eyes might be good. Some direct.
I like this.
Oh god, yeah, that's hot. Look at that.
Isn't it? I was just like,
yeah, look at that look.
I think I don't want to look for it anymore. that matches her perfectly. She's like, I am done and ready for what needs to be done in this world. Ooh, but this one's nice too.
Some of these come with some pretty good eyebrow expressions.
Yes. They're angry though in this one. I kind of don't want them to be angry. I kind of want them to be direct. I like the earlier one. They also have sexy eyes. They have cute eyes.
A little sultry wink.
This one's like... They have anime eyes too. Alright, I think I know... Ooh, eventually. I think I know what we want. We want the first one, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think that one that we went for was a pretty good get.
It was really nice. She was direct. She was hot. She's great. I think this is the one. Yes, this is the one. Awesome. Now we're going to give her eyebrows. And let's see.
That's a little Cruella de Vil.
I know. That's like a little angry, like she's about to like skin some puppies, and this is not the thing that we want.
She looks like she's about to sort of post something questionable on Facebook and then try to sell you Amway.
I kind of like this one when it appears. I like that one. The way the eyes work with that one.
I like the sort of curve of the hair on the right of the face there.
Yeah. All right. Let's do. So we're done with eyebrows. Well, let's actually give her eye color. What kind of eye color do you want?
I like green or amber for eye color, I think.
What do you think of this? I think it's just.
It's like a nice sea foam. That's nice.
Kind of like it. It matches her skin.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Complementary.
Yes. Now we're I guess we're gonna move on to the ears. So sometimes the ears I have a hard time with because of the hair. Like it just covers it. Do you have any particular ears that you care for here?
No, I think with horns, generally like fancy ears are then a little superfluous, and that like fills the head slot, so to speak.
Yeah.
So nothing springs immediately to mind to me. Pointy's good. There's a lot of good pointy options here.
Yeah. I think we could just do a simple, maybe like this kind of ear.
Yeah, something basic would be good.
Yeah.
Those are a little big.
Yeah. I thought it was smaller because in the picture it was small. But let's see if this one might be smaller. I think. How about this?
That's like a normal yeah, that's like a 5 out of 10, middle of the road.
Yeah.
Just a straight up ear.
Yeah.
Earrings are good.
Let's give her the earrings.
Yeah, the piercings are good. I like that.
What color would be great for her skin?
Gold? Silver? Gold or silver? Silver's a little too, I think, similar to the blue.
I think I'm gonna go with that one, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do that. It matches her attire.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're done with the ears. Face. We're gonna give her... Honestly, I go with the nose first, because then it makes it easier for me to choose everything else. They have bee snoots, if you like bee snoots.
Snoots?
Bee snoots, if you want to do that. They do have that.
Show me a beast snoot. What we got here? Oh, look at this. Oh, that's a very dog face.
That's a very good dog.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh no. 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 Oh no. 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 Oh.
So no bee snoots.
That right there is like what you have up right now is like a sort of Disney look. When you first there, I was like, oh, that's just like a dog. That's like it's not even like an anthropomorphic. It's like
just a dog. Do you want bee snoots or normal snoots?
Let's take a look at a normal snoot. Let's see what we get in a normal snoot.
Okay. So I'm going to take you to my favorite snoot. This is my favorite nose because I feel like it goes everywhere. Whenever I choose a nose, this is the nose that I go to. But they have a lot of different noses. So
I love hearing about people's favorite noses. Absolutely.
I know. I don't even know why I have a favorite nose, but this is it. Then there's that. I think this one's nice when we get to it. When you get to it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Let's see what else we got. I don't mind her having a big schnoz. I think that's cool.
This big schnoz?
Cool.
Yeah,
I'm just sort of saying absent-mindedly. Big noses are cool.
I agree. It suits her face too.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. It's a little smushed in. Looks like she's been in a
fight. This one's not bad as well. This next one that I chose.
Let's see what we get. Oh yeah, I like that. That's how I draw noses when I'm doodling.
I think that's good for her. I think. Okay, yeah, I think we'll go with that nose personally. All right, now it's time for the lips. So the lips. Let's see. What kind of emotion would you want your character to have?
I like for mentor characters that we were talking about before. I like kind of like a little snark, a little attitude, a little smirk. So it kind of contrasts like especially these eyebrows. I think are going to be good with a smirk if you can get it there.
How about this one? Like not this. Like when it'll be the third one. So the first one you saw was that
one's good. That one's good. That brings the face together like in a big way. That really does.
This last one, I feel like it's really nice. It looks really good on her.
That first one was so just.
All right. So we're done with that. Do you want facial hair? Because we do have facial hair on here.
I do like giving my ladies like a good beard like I have, but I think we'll skip the self-insert step and we'll move on to the next bit.
All right. So now we've done with the whole thing. We're going to move on to equipment. And that's usually with the hat, the undergarments, the clothes and stuff. And anything? Do you want to give her a hat, or are we just gonna move on from that just because she has the horn?
Let's skip the hat because I don't want to cover up the cool stuff we got going on under there.
Right.
But I do want to see what we got in glasses here.
Yes, these are the glasses. Not that much, but that's a little too high.
Mm-hmm.
I wish there was a way we can move it.
It'd be cool if there was a slider. You move stuff up and down.
Yeah. Jamie's watching. He'll hear me and say, "Hey, I actually kind of really like how this looks."
Oh no.
I actually kind of like how this looks if it was lower and it's see-through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, let's see what we got on the next thing. But
so no glasses. Jamie's here. He'll fix it. Do you want a mask or just move on with that?
We'll just get onto the outfit. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, I maybe said out loud it would be cool if there was a slider because I knew that there was someone in the developer space listening.
Yes. I don't know what that is.
It was taking a while to load. Must be a lot
so
of
there's
cool stuff
undergarment apps. Like different undergarments that you want to see. But basically, anything here that's interesting to you, it's actually just gonna get covered by the other stuff. But I just think like having this is kind of pretty to think about.
Yeah. It's like how they had all the armor in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I like that.
Nothing's jumping out to me.
We'll skip
honestly.
it then. This tabard. Oh, this is the chest stuff. If there's anything here, this like reminds me of like what a pirate would be like. A femme pirate.
Mm-hmm. I like pirate vibes. I think the pirate vibe is a good thing to chase down. We should go back to the undergarment and get one of those like foofy shirts that they have.
Yeah, let's
we're gonna do a pirate.
Do you want this one or do you want this one? I feel like this might be fun.
Please wait while we see which one is which. I like the one that's like open in the middle for sure. Or like more open in the middle than the one with the cravat.
Yeah. Let's do that one. Yeah. We're gonna remove the top. Just because I don't think it'll match very well.
I agree.
But I think we'll go with that undergarment and then we'll change the top.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it covers her arm though.
Oh, true.
We're not. I want to show off the arm. We're gonna remove that. The arm is very important to us. We worked hard on that arm. We're gonna go back to that one.
I like how, and I'm not saying this again to to sort of like bring attention to it, but I like that a lot of these are modular, like with the arms where you could take off or put on arms and stuff. I like that you can kind of see like a modularity in some of the clothing and stuff. Looks cool.
Let's see. How about... No. I still really want to show off her arm. What is this? It's a little belt? Ooh, what if this one? What do you think of that one?
I like it. This sort of armor. It's like a chest plate.
Yeah. I think we can just remove the undergarment altogether. So we see her buffness.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll look at chest symbol. Oh, it's not yet available. Neck. There's some necklaces. If you're interested in them.
Let's see. Maybe like something simple or something really complicated. Those are the two directions.
Giant wolf head.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it looks good.
There's an elephant too. Like if you decide to have an elephant one. But I think I like the wolf head.
Sure. Go for like a Witcher.
Yeah. And then, do you want a coat?
Let's see what we got. I do like cloaks. Capes are very important in Monster Care Squad.
I agree.
For the uninitiated, it's the uniform of the Monster Care Squad is a white and red cape that you
Capes are really
get
important.
from your squad.
Do you want this cape?
Let me see.
Oh, but it covers everything.
Yeah. Let's not do anything that covers up like an enormous amount.
How about this? Just covers her back. And it
Just
still
covering
shows
back
her
is good.
tail.
Yeah, it sort of implies the
presence of
existence
it.
I like that. No, originally the capes were gonna be even more kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
There was sort of like a whole like who you were and what you did was going to be denoted by the cape. You were going to sort of be able to say like, oh, I have this green cape or this black cape with like a yellow accent, and that's what marks me as a guide or something similar to that. Just ended up not happening because we were going to depict it through the artwork, and it just never really got done.
Do you want them to have a sword?
No, there's no weapons in.
Oh, that's right. We're gonna move away from all of this. Do you want them to have a guitar?
There are definitely guitars in Aldemora. So at least that's at least you're in the clear there. Maybe some of these potion bottles and stuff might be nice. Some kind of accessory is good. But, oh, it's like a big scroll or something. That's cool.
It's like a big gourd. It's like what?
Yeah.
It's like a giant
like
gourd, but you can't really see it because.
Yeah. Okay. If all this stuff straps on their back, I think we're probably best off just leaving it.
Yeah, because you can't really see it. All right, let's go.
We're being informed it's a lute.
Oh, it's a lute. Sorry, I thought it was a guitar. Or a gourd. Do you want any shoulder pads?
A single shoulder pad on one shoulder? I think so. I think it's gotta happen. You're not a fantasy character unless you've got one shoulder pad.
Single shoulder pad.
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
On the left, right?
Yeah, on the left, because we've had like a fancy arm here. We need to have like a left shoulder pad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It needs to balance it out.
You want
one of those ones where the strap looked good. What'd you say?
There's one with spikes, so you'll see in a moment.
Very aggressive for a veterinarian.
Yeah. Let's see. I think for her, she would look great in these ones. But it's really big. I don't know if I like it. Maybe this one?
Oh, that is quite big, yeah. I like the sort of feather effect it has.
I do like the feather part of it. I like this.
What I like about the two at the not the two at the top, the two below them, is that they have like a belt that sort of appeals to me as someone who was worn a pauldron and needed to figure out a belt solution for them.
This one? I feel like it matches her really well.
With the fur, I think that's good. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we're actually gonna go back to that and do the coloring later, because I want to do the coloring and surprise you. Also, that'll take time. Do you want a lower thing on her arm?
See, like a glove, like a
not a glove,
or...
like a
oh, like a wrist,
like a wrist thing.
Yeah, so maybe something to match the shoulder pauldron would be good, like a furry bracer. I did a Geralt cosplay once, and I had to make all the armor myself and the shoulder pads that he has in the game are absolutely ridiculous, and I had to come up with this like really complicated system of belts to attach it to me. That was a whole pain to get in and out of whenever we went to the con floor.
Oh. I like this one because it's also like it matches her shoulder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that a lot.
All right.
Yeah,
Gloves.
I'm into that.
Do you want gloves?
I think bracer or gloves, not both.
Okay.
I think that's my professional opinion.
We'll do bracer then.
We'll do bracer.
All right. Now it's time for her pants.
This is a cool looking person we've got ourselves.
Yes.
Here.
And when it's colored, it's gonna be fantastic. Pants. Pants or skirt?
What options do we got for skirt? I was thinking about this when you were scrolling through the wrist options, and I was thinking like sort of adventurer in a skirt is not something I see very often. Loincloth is pretty common. That's like definitely a thing I see. Is that a ruffled party skirt we've got there? Going to the
think
rave?
so.
That's sick.
This is also another skirt. Personal.
Let's see what we got for pants. Let's
go pants. All right.
Yeah, let's go with pants.
All right. So they also have modern styles here. So. Oh wait, I need to remove the skirt because you can't see it now. Sorry, we're not skirting it up here. We are pantsing it.
We're doing pants and skirt and an apron and a dress.
Look at this.
They're so good.
They're called
bell bottoms. Are actually bell bottoms are actually very popular in Altamora. People have been wearing bell bottoms there for a while now.
Yeah.
They're much further advanced than us in terms of
art and
fashion.
and all that in fashion. Do you want to keep the bell bottoms?
Like a part of me wants to say yes, but probably not. What about those ruffled like pirate pants down there at the bottom? I think it's like second row up. Oh, they were below these ones. They're there. No?
You wanted the pirate one with.
They're like at the very bottom.
Very bottom.
Very bottom.
These ones.
And we'll wait a few seconds.
I will stay there.
Little lower.
Okay.
Scroll wheel one down. Those ones on the right where you're, yeah.
This one.
That's the one.
All right, we'll keep that one.
Yeah.
That one, right?
Yeah, that looks cool. I like the ruffles. I think they'll go well with some boots.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And then we're not gonna go with knee pads because then I'll go on top, and it's not available anyway. They're also going to make greaves. Now we'll go to boots.
Remember, folks, if you're going out doing monster care, you want your shin guards.
Yes, those are very important. You have to take care of your boots.
Mm-hmm.
How's this for boots? Is it too big? I feel like it's too big.
Holy dang. Yeah, those are like clown shoes. It's like Sora from Kingdom Hearts looking.
I know. Let's see. There should be other. I feel like there should be another way to make smaller boots.
Those boots with the sort of fur like cuffed over the top look cool. I like that.
I think I can find it again. That one?
I think those were the ones. I think those were the ones that I was eyeing. Scroll down a little more. We'll see. We'll see if I see what we get here.
These are jester ones.
I do like jester shoes, just generally speaking. Um, I think we're good. I think we're good with
We're good with this
the
one?
fluffy boots that we got. Yeah,
The
I think
fluffy
so.
boots?
Yeah,
Okay.
they look great.
All right, belts. Interested in any belts at all?
I like belts. I like belts. You put like three or four
Belts
those
on
things
them.
on. Yeah, they'll look great.
See, how do you think of this?
I like the look of it, but I think it sits on her a little like funny
different,
with
yeah.
her stomach, like with her chest piece rather.
How about this?
I like that you can just get like a flannel tied around the waist. That's
I know,
pretty fun.
it's awesome.
Yeah, that one's much better. That's the same vibe, but I think sits
Yeah.
a little bit nicer.
Do you want it to come this way or the other way?
I have zero preference.
All right, I like this way.
I like it a lot.
All right, awesome. So we've chosen belts. There are other equipments, so we're gonna move past the weapons because this is Aldemora. We don't do weapons. Do you want magic-y stuff?
Well, we talk about magic stuff.
Like it goes on one of the
there's
hands.
just some cool magic.
Yes. So maybe we could put something on her left hand.
Great minds think alike there.
See, you can put fire, which is nice.
Whoa, animated stuff. That's cool.
I know. There's windy stuff.
Yeah, I think something like windy would be good.
Ooh, this is fun.
Ooh, what about that lightning on the right arm instead of the left?
Ooh, the lightning on the right arm?
Yeah, just give it a little whirl, see what we get there.
What do you think? Because it does.
Oh, it takes off the hand, huh?
Well, it doesn't really take off the hand. It just turns her hand into like.
Oh, I see. Yeah, no. I see. That looks good. I think that looks cool.
Do you want to keep it like that then?
Yeah, sure.
All right. They also
gotta have some of that gift stuff in there.
Eventually.
This is like.
Oh, they're crutches.
Sorry, oh, wonderful.
I don't think she needs one.
She's becoming rather busy. We talked about. I was about to say this is like the ultimate like OC generator, like making my half dragon, half angel level 50.
All right. I don't think we have a pose just yet. It's still coming, but eventually you'll be able to do different kinds of poses.
Sure.
We do have a stage, so we could just put her on a stage if you want to.
Absolutely.
Which stage are you? Oh.
Maybe like if we got like a sort of deserty one for Aldemora.
We do have one. That's sort of deserty.
Yeah, no, that's great. We'll go with that.
And then we'll have a nice desert background because I know they have it. Loading. Hey, Daniel, thanks for subscribing. All right. So I also like that there's just this like horde if you want to be in a horde room or something. All right, we found the deserts. Ta-da!
Fantastic. Yeah, I love these canyons.
Yes. I think this one is nice because it draws her in the middle.
Yeah, I agree.
So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And there's more. All right, so we finished the basic character creation, which is great. Now, what we're going to do is I am going to run you through a short adventure that would basically tell me a little bit about your character. what she's like, and all that. All right, so I am going to bring up my little cheat sheet because I have one. Give me a moment. Actually, you know what? The book is right here. What am I doing? I have the book right here in front of me. Ta-da! I love this book so much.
Can I tell you a thing about the book? That dust cover you have on it. I hate that dust cover.
You hate it? Why?
Between us, no one else here is allowed to repeat this. I really don't like it. We did it because so that front image was going to be the cover way back when it was just a PDF. But it didn't really fit the vibe of the book underneath. We couldn't, it was supposed to be this like, we wanted that like really sweet like faux leather burgundy cover that's underneath the dust jacket.
Yes, which I will show you.
But we wanted that really bad, and I was like, I want the book to look like that. But people on the Kickstarter got upset that we like wanted to do it that way. We put the dust jacket in as a kind of way to kind of like, give everybody what they want a little bit. But I think that without it is kind of like, look at all that beautiful gold on it, the embossing.
It's so gorgeous.
It feels really good in the hand. To each their own.
Yes.
It's the benefit of having done it this way.
Yes, so everybody can have that. I actually really love it, just because the content is so pretty. The whole world is so pretty.
Oh yeah, it's a gorgeous.
Okay. I am pulling up my little notes. Make sure I have it. All right. Aldamora. For immediate distribution on all networks. The Elder Wyvern Arumat, the wings that shake the heavens, has wreaked havoc upon the great city, leaving thousands of refugees adrift in its ruins. Crying out in pain and overwhelmed with fear, Arumat's wrath was not her own, but the work of a deadly poison our monster specialists have named the False Gold. Its origin is still unknown, but more monsters are falling prey to it by the hour. As mentioned in the notes that you have received, it's been 5 years since the Elder Wyvern Arumat, the wings that shake the earth, have wreaked havoc upon the great city, leaving so many people without homes. Now, we know more about the situation today than we did in the past, yet there are still many, many questions that we can't answer at the moment. Liam, who's your character before the false gold became the plague that it is?
They're like big and strong, so I think they probably had some kind of really practical daily going out and lifting stuff kind of job. So I was thinking something like their frame and body gives me like blacksmith vibes. But farming's a noble profession out there in Aldamora. But blacksmithing's kind of cool. We'll go with that, I think. They were probably like some kind of village smith or town smith, putting stuff together.
Are they staying in Tenarismal, or are they like outside, like a different city?
Let's say they're staying there for now.
Okay. So, since it's been just 5 years, what were you doing when Arumat first attacked Tenarismal? And especially since you're in the city, what do you remember of that day?
Probably a blur. It was a scary time, right? It was these people trusted this monster and believed that it was like this. No one knew that these sorts of things could happen. No one knew it was capable of it. So I think probably it was all a blur. I think maybe I have memories of being at the shop, working on something, and then hearing, the calamity and the chaos, and the next minute being at whatever shelter or safety place was set up, whatever sanctuary was available. Maybe we can put in like people later would have said that I like helped out in some way, but those those are like,
you're a big helpful blacksmith. You would definitely be one of the people that would probably be moving stuff around, making sure debris are removed. So I can see that.
But I think as far as their like direct memory is concerned, I think mostly remember running to the shelter and being there, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It's early morning, and you are sitting at the Tanaris Mall's library. I believe it's called the 67th library. If I'm not mistaken. Is this something that you do every day? Is this something that you normally do, or is this a new thing? Are you always here at this time, or just
I think
this
this is
morning?
probably unusual. I think I'm here outside of my usual sort of daily comings and goings. Must be here with some purpose, I think.
Okay, and that makes sense. You are just about to go on your first sort of mission. You're waiting for your mentor to give you a text message, and she's been telling you to come to the library almost regularly, but this is not something that you chose to do. Now, it's rare. It's rare for a school to have no library. And there are some libraries that exist without schools. The Tanar Small Specialist Academy, however, well, that grew out of necessity. In fact, it was officially recognized as an academy a month after the attack, the first of all the specialist academies. It did still grow out of the 67th Historians Society Library. This library is one of the most important collections of folklore, religious beliefs, and cultural practices in all of Aldamora. It is the result of a dozen of lifetimes of work, and the library contains nearly all known examples of such practices from all across the land. And it contains a lot of very important, like I mentioned, like a lot of important practices. As the years have gone by, you do know that, well, a lot of people know, a lot of the specialists know that the things that ail the monsters can usually be resolved not by specific science, but more of like the culture that surrounds it, the monsters, where they live, the people that are there. That's usually how they get resolved, you know, how the wounds are healed. And that's why the Tanara Small Library is very important. Now, there's no, at least in this Aldamora, there's no set time for students to be ready to really go on their first adventure. Some students take a couple of months and feel that they're ready to go. Some take years. In the 5 years that the school has been running, how long do you think you've been a student in the Tanara Small Specialist Academy?
I think she probably signed up like day one. I think you know, waking up in the rubble of what happened, and then that probably gets you going. I think she probably signed up straight away. So
why do you think it took you maybe 5 years to start your first mission?
I don't wonder if they were like apprenticing or like working in some kind of like administrative or assistive role for a long time as like part of their learning process, and like got kind of tied down doing that sort of thing, doing whatever like the monster care equivalent of like pro bono legal clinic work is for law students, that sort of thing.
That makes sense. So you're currently in the library. What are you doing in the library? Where would you be located in the 67th library?
Maybe in one of the quiet rooms with a stack of books, reading up on wherever it is I'm supposed to be going next. Make sure I've dotted every T and crossed every I.
Awesome. You receive a text message, and it's from your mentor. On your phone, it just shows the name Fa. And on it, it says, in your phone, it says, "Team, please proceed to room 5634 as soon as possible. I have important news." What do you do?
Well, I probably get really annoyed that I took all this time getting all these books down. But then, you know, start hustling along to where we go. You don't keep your mentor waiting.
No. When you get in there, you do meet Fa, or currently as Madame Fa. Your mentor, you know that your mentor comes into the world. Well, you meet your mentor in multiple ways. You know that she's been touched by one of the more well-known monsters. I believe it's the one that is a giant octopus that travels through time. And she's been touched. Yeah, she's been touched by this monster. Sometimes you will see her and she's a young teenager, Fa Jingyi. Sometimes she would be Miss Fa, a sort of young adult. Or sometimes she's Madame Fa, which is a sort of middle-aged, respectable lady. And then sometimes she's Grandma Fa, who is a little bit older and a little bit tired in life.
I love this.
You don't exactly know how old she is. She's just, every morning it's different. And her personality matches her current state. Today, she's Madame Fa. And she's watching TV. And there's news on the TV of the Dales experiencing a weird sort of situation. You see, Madame Fa tells you that, hey, the Dales, everyone is fighting each other. It's a little weird. It's a little different. We need this to be taken care of. And I need you to, and you do meet your other members of the team, and I need you to get ready because we don't know what's going on. People are just randomly fighting each other, and we don't know why.
That's not on. You can't be having that.
Of course.
Not at all.
Of course. You have the rest of the day to prepare, of course. And you know that the Dales is known for having... They don't have their own monster, really. They have multiple monsters that call the Dales their own. So it's a little bit difficult. Madame Fa thinks that the issue, of course, is monster-related. There is something going on that might have started affecting the people in the Dales to start fighting each other, you know. But you don't know what it is yet.
Right.
So, what do you do to prepare? Like, what things do you bring? Madame Fa tells you that in about 2 hours, you will take a plane to the Dales, and James will pick you up. A name that everybody knows James. James is a speed walker. For whatever reason, he can reach certain locations pretty quickly. Some say he's been touched, of course, by one of the wandering monsters, but he never really talks about it. James will meet you at the airport and will take you to your to the location needed to, you know, needed for you to be there. But what do you do to prepare for the 2 hours you need before the flight takes off?
2 hours isn't very long.
Yes.
I think probably I gotta rush home and start packing a bag. Maybe get a satchel ready with some stuff that I need. Yeah, I don't know what else we could get together. Probably don't have enough time to do a deep research onto the Dales now that we know.
Yeah.
Maybe a quick run around my usual haunts and just see if folks, just let people know I'm going to be gone for a bit.
Okay. They're very excited for you because they've been waiting for you to, you know, actually take that step and go. And everybody congratulates you. And soon enough, you are ready to go on that flight. Now, usually at this time, since there's like multiple people, when I play it, usually the 2 hour time on the plane is, well, the time on the plane is for them to get to know each other, hang out, all that. We're just gonna skip that part, and we're gonna go straight to you arriving at the airport, and you see James. This is a tall, handsome gentleman, red hair, and he's holding a sign that says, um the shearing people, just the shearing team.
Hello, James. What's up? What's up?
Oh, hello.
Just rush up in.
Do you have a name already for her, by any chance?
I did, but now I can't. Let's call her Kona. Kona. We'll do that.
All right. Well, we'll call her Kona. I believe you are Kona, right?
That's me.
I've spoken to Madame Fa, and I am to take you to the Dales as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and get ready. Do you have any questions at all while I'm driving you to there?
Do you? Yeah, I guess I would probably interrogate them a little bit about what we can expect to find, like how bad has this gotten? Is anyone injured? Is there a ground zero of any kind? Is there a space where some of these problems began?
Normally, I would make you roll for it, but
Sure.
we're gonna move past that and just say that you succeed. We are gonna go to sort of the ground zero of what's happening. The reason why I think it's why I've called you the shearing team is because I believe it is the shearing that's causing the angerness and the hatefulness that's happening among the group, only because she's been moving around, and everywhere she goes there is this sort of blackness and darkness in the hearts of the people.
Sure.
But yes, I'm taking you to right now to the Dale so you can see it. And you look out the window and you see the window of the car. You see a bright there's smoke coming from somewhere. And you notice as you're coming closer, you realize it's a field of wheat just on fire.
Oh my goodness.
It is
very
on
dramatic.
fire. And James is like, oh no, I did not notice this wasn't here when I had left to pick you up. And he quickly drives faster and parks right there. And you see a lot of people, and you see there's this one creature. You don't know what kind of monster it is, but it is hosing down. It is with the help of the mayor, pointing where to drop the water. Pointing out where to do that.
Sure.
That's what the mayor is doing. You also see one man. He's tied up a little bit, but you can see that the guards are more gently handling him than actually roughing him up. But he is tied up in a corner while while everybody else is trying to put the fire out on the wheat field.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably start over there. I think that seems like what's this all about, folks? What's going on here? Kona, Monster Care Squad, what's up?
The two guards look at you and it's like, well, we're just waiting for the anger to pass. You see, he's been affected, you see, by...
Looks angry.
He is. And you can see him like sort of like fighting against the bonds, and he's like, he started it. He deserved his farm to go in flames. While the other two guards are just like, hey, Jim, calm down. It's okay, man. It's fine. This is not who you are. And then Jim is like, this is exactly who I am. He deserved it.
I'm going to step in and ask if how well the people taking care of him right now knew Jim. Do they know Jim in a sort of personal sense?
It's a very small this part you can feel that the guards know Jim very well.
Sure. Well, then I guess I'll get right to the punch and ask sort of where's Jim being at? Like where's Jim going to these days? What's their sort of schedule? their path. Is this I hear this is someone else's farm. I
Yeah.
understand that, but where's Jim's farm?
Well, Jim doesn't actually have a farm, the guards say. Honestly, he was fine this morning, but ever since he went through the marketplace, he started getting agitated. And one of the guards like, yeah, Jim's my best friend. He's the calmest guy I know. But after that trip to the marketplace, he seemed agitated and angry for some reason. Kept saying that that Mark had sold him the wrong piece of apple. And
The wrong.
well, this
piece
is
of
Mark's farm, and I don't understand, like why he's so angry about an apple.
Can we ask him?
Oh yeah.
Jim, what's I hear you got the wrong part of an apple.
Oh, and Jim is like gets more and more agitated and more angry.
Sure.
He's like, I bought this apple and I was promised that it was fresh, and I bit into it and it was not fresh. Therefore, his farm had to go up in flames. Mark cheated me out of a good apple.
I'm gonna just like listen and sort of like nod and really sort of be intentionally like tuned into what this person's saying. Okay. I'm just gonna turn around and be like, well, that's clearly not, that's not within sort of the realms of reasonability going on there. Something's up. We gotta go check out the marketplace, I think. Maybe talk in with this Mark, did they say it was? This Mark person? We'll go check in with Mark and see what's going on there.
Actually, as you're about to tell that, as you're telling that to the guard, you do see Mark running, and yeah, Mark runs straight to Jim and goes, "Jim, buddy, what's wrong? Why did you set my farm on fire?" And Jim like almost breaks through the bonds and says, "You sold me the wrong apple, you," and curses come out of this guy, and Mark is like, just trying to calm him down. Do you do anything?
Oh, I think I'll get in the middle of these two and maybe sort of make sure. Hey, listen, Mark. I don't know. We don't know what's going on here, but Jim's pretty upset, and they're probably not going to be happy to see you.
Yeah.
Probably don't get too close.
Right. And Mark is like, "Oh man, I don't know what happened. He and I were perfectly fine. He's like, I don't know why he's so mad. I sell him the same apple every, I didn't even sell him anything. I just gave him an apple." And you see Jim just like his eyes go blacker at the sight of Mark and is just ready to throw hands. And if it wasn't like, if he wasn't bonded or if he wasn't tied up, he would have like clearly clocked Mark out. And Mark starts to speak to Jim quietly, calmly. And while that's happening, you notice that as Jim is being talked to in this calm manner, his eyes start to lose the dark shade, the dark blackness, and his arms no longer struggle. He's still angry. You can see that. But you could tell that the calm voice of Mark somehow is working and is doing something.
Interesting. Can I maybe like surreptitiously get a little closer and just kind of like see if I can get a feel for this? Like close my eyes and really focus in and see if I can, maybe there's some words they're using, maybe it's just an energy they're putting out, just something to kind of like see what I'm hearing here.
Right. You do hear that it's because of Mark not rising to the bait that Jim is giving, that somehow it's countering a sort of energy that's emanating from Jim. There's this energy, and you can tell that it's not from Jim. Something is affecting him that's a little different. But with Mark constantly just calmly talking to him, and the words of not letting himself like fight at Jim
mhm.
is what's somehow removing that energy, because that energy starts to sort of dissipate as it continues to happen.
Fantastic. Well, I guess I'll just let that happen, honestly. If they seem to be taking care of each other like relatively well, I don't want to get involved. They seem to be dealing with it fairly clearly.
Okay.
Is there... The guards are still here, right?
The guards are still here. The mayor is pointing. The mayor is still there as well. There's a big monster helping out with putting down the flames, and they seem to be doing a really good job of that.
Well, let me just sort of take a little bit command of the situation then, and what I'll do is I'll say, okay, listen, here's what everyone needs to be doing. Whoever can continue working on putting out this fire. If I can get those 2 guards to maybe go to the marketplace and give it a look around and see if they can find out where this altercation took place and see if there's anything special there, they can bring some info back to me. And whenever Jim and Mark calm down, or whenever that sort of conversation ends, I'd like to get in there and start being like, so, either y'all been around any monsters lately? Any y'all
see anything?
Eating any weird fruits, or just what's been going on here?
All right. So the 2 guards leave, and they go to the marketplace to look for any sort of clues or anything that they could bring back to you. You do see that Jim's eyes sort of clear, and he's no longer angry. In fact, he's starting to become apologetic. And he's talking to Mark, and he's saying, I don't know what came over me. I don't know. All I knew is as soon as I bit that apple, I was angry and I was upset. And I knew for whatever reason I had to burn your farm down. That is so... Did I really burn your farm down? Of course I did. I can see it. I don't understand. I'm so sorry, Mark. I don't know what came over me. And Mark is sitting there and he's like, no, bud. Yeah, it's been happening to many people. And you realize that Mark knew what he was doing when he was talking to Jim in a quiet manner, in a forgiving manner, not rising to the bait of Jim being angry. And you realize that this isn't the first time he's seen this sort of situation.
Interesting. Well, then I'll get right in. I'll jump right on that and be like, hey, it looks like this ain't your first rodeo.
Yeah, the town has been experiencing a lot of unprecedented anger against each other. At first it was a little weird. They would fight, and then some punches would be thrown, and then after maybe 2 hours after that, they'd be fine again. We've noticed that if we talk to the affected party and rise to the bait, we get drawn into the fight. The chaos spreads, and I, for example, get into the fight and fight them as well. Someone instead noticed that if you talk to them in a quiet manner, calmly, and giving a sort of understanding, the chaos that's inside them sort of disappears. And that's what we've been doing. We think we might know what's causing this. We just don't know how to fix it, other than talking to each other calmly.
Yeah, it sounds like you're triaging. What we want to do is figure out a way to stop this, right?
Exactly.
Well, I think is it food based every time? Is it every time someone eats a weird apple or something like that? That seems to be the genesis point here, is that this person ate an apple and got upset about it.
I want to say it's food related, but it's actually not really. It's random. Sometimes it would be just a small fight between a couple that would become bigger and bigger. Sometimes it's someone just moved a little bit faster and bumped into someone. We can never really predict what would trigger this effect. but it does happen. And when it happens, their eyes become dark. And it takes a while for them to take a certain action.
Sure.
So it's hard to pin out when it, when it starts. But it always ends in a much unneeded, sort of attack at someone or something that they feel is causing the issue.
And that's concerning because that means all of you could all be walking around ready to pop at any moment.
Yes.
Yeah, we gotta resolve this as soon as possible.
I agree.
I think. Oh, the other thing to ask also is if there's been any obvious signs of false gold around. This is 5 years later. I think people probably know what to look for at this point.
Well, the reason why we think it might be Sheeran, Sheeran, right?
Yeah.
The reason why we might think it might be Sheeran is because we've seen petals, the big petals, and instead of the normal colors that Sheeran has, it's gray and spotted with gold. We don't know how Sheeran is doing it, but we have seen that dropped in different places, especially in the Lover's Grove.
The Lover's Grove.
The Lover's Grove, I don't know if you're aware, but the Lover's Grove is basically, well, our little city has a little different way of ceremony when we get married. The ceremony involves planting a tree on the ground, and that is our commitment to each other. And Sheeran loves the Lover's Grove, and we've been seeing these gray petals dotted with golden specks in the Lover's Grove. So we think she's been hanging out there, or Sheeran's been hanging out there for a while now.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's the place to go then. Honestly, I think that's where we got to get to.
And then, as you do walk there, you hear the saddest sound, like a sad cry. And it is coming from the Lover's Grove. It's the saddest cry that you've heard. Well, maybe it is the saddest, but it is a very, very sad cry.
Sure.
And it's a loud cry that goes all over the town. But one thing you've noticed is that it seems like it's only you that hears it. Everybody else seems to go about their day, and like they don't mention it to you, they don't say anything, but you hear it.
Where does it sound like it's coming from? Is there
it's
like
coming from the Lover's Grove.
Sure.
Right.
Go ahead.
So nope, like you could, well, you don't know where the Lover's Grove is. It's coming from the east, and you don't know where it is, but that seems to be where Mark is leading you towards, the sound of the cry. And since we are out of time, that is where we'll end this sort of one shot, as you're about to go to the Lover's Grove. Nice I said,
cliffhanger.
Yes, this is how I introduce the game to people. This is how my introduction is, and this is trial run basically, where I introduce people by giving them their character life. So Kona has been sort of built today, and I'm what do you think of the short sort of intro?
I love it. I love the twists on the format. I love that you just sort of have casual phones and planes to get people around, like one of the big draws when I like wrote it, I was like, okay, I want like exploration and traveling over land to be a big thing, but I love that you were like, yeah, I don't really like that. I was just going to put you on a plane. I like that a lot. The Dales is such a good place to go. I think this is fantastic. Sheeran's a great monster too, because they're like,
yes,
they're maybe not like the kind of overwhelming gargantuan like titans that are in the book, but they're also like they're one of my favorite favorite backstories for a monster. They've got that really good monster vibe where they're kind of metaphorical for certain things, and there's all these like ceremonies built around it. It's cool. I like it a lot.
I really like Sheeran. I love all the big monsters, but the small monsters that affect small town, I really love that. And I feel like that's what I love about Monster Care Squad, because you can, a lot of what Monster Care Squad is great because it gives you inspiration to do a lot of the things that you want to do, but you can also play this world in such multiple different ways. And I really do want to thank you for giving me Monster Care Squad, because I am obsessed with it, and I do think it is a game that I will be playing forever, especially since eventually I'll create my own world.
That's huge. Yeah, it means the world to me to hear people having a lot of fun playing around in that space. And you're doing such a good job of it. You're so
well. We have reached the end of our show. Before we go, though, why don't you just sort of tell us where we can find you, any projects that you want to share? And it's been so much fun having you here, Liam. I've been so happy to just talk to you. I'm blown away that you are a guest on my first show. So yeah.
Oh, I'm really happy to be here. No, it's been a lot of fun. It's rare. I like the format for this show a lot. It's rare that people get to play their own games in kind of this context. It's a lot of fun. Everyone can find me over at Twitter, SandyPugGames. We're also very Googleable, or whatever new thing you're using in the year 4008 where you're rewatching this VOD. Just search up SandyPugGames and you'll be able to track us down. We mentioned earlier in the series, we've got some Monster Care Squad expansion stuff coming out. We've got a vinyl record, which is where this is from. We've got a game jam, which was linked, I think, earlier in the chat box. That's some more third-party Monster Care Squad stuff. And we've got the app coming out, the web page that's going to have all sorts of fun stuff on there. It's going to be the summer of Monster Care Squad. It's going to be great. Very exciting.
Awesome. And I'm Glaiza. Thanks for watching the first ever episode of Trial Run. And hopefully I'll see you next month. If Jamie thinks that I did really well, maybe he'll give me more months. But I am so happy to be here. You can find me everywhere on the internet as @ClassicalGlaiza. That's where I am. Twitch, TikTok, Twitter, but not Instagram, because I don't use Instagram for my stuff. But yeah, you can find me everywhere at @ClassicalGlaiza. And I am a very, very busy person, but please invite me to all the stuff that you want to invite me to. Yay. But yeah, this is the end of Trial Run. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you guys next month. Bye.